in their split-second decision-making, and they also need quite a bit of padding. I feel like they need to come out of the lane rather far ahead to ensure that even if they lose a big team fight, even if their siege gets broken, they still have enough of a cushion to go back into the game and do more damage.
Okay, well, I'll be looking for it. Clement, running into this, we're going to be talking a lot about drafts in this one because Renata debuts in the PCS. You have not had one yet. This is your very first. It's Airy taken and looks like a standard rune set here. Again, talking about a pseudo Karma, there's a lot of differences in there, a lot of niche differences too. And you and I were kind of talking about lanes that she sucks with at the moment. What do you think about the Tahm Kench lane?
I think the Tahm Kench lane is one where she can actually bully out quite freely. We have been looking at sort of the matchups that Renata has, and the hard engage ones do present a huge threat to her. Renata does not have any sort of escape. She's very, very slow, and she doesn't have any mobility abilities. So she will struggle in ganks. If you think about hard engage champions like the Leonas, the Blitzcranks, they really make life quite difficult for her. But against champions that are still, tanky frontline champions, but not exactly guaranteed engage, like the Tahm Kenches and the Brahms, she actually does quite well against. It's kind of a free bully lane for her. And what's interesting about her is on the flip side, she also doesn't do that well against some of the poke heavy enchanters, the Luxes and the Karmas. Have a really good win rate against her.
You and I talking about that before broadcast, like how hard it is when a champion with lower cooldowns that does something very similar and pokes you out is in the same lane as you. So for Koala here, you can see loyalty program has been taken first. That's the E that gives a shield as long as it passes through Atlan. Also note that leverage, this, Clement, I would assume this is the hotfix version on 12.4. Probably need to double check on that because... Remember that her auto attack was at like 5% late game, which was disgusting. Now 3.5%, it's been changed, and so has Bailout to be a little bit more fair in the game.
Yeah, some of her abilities are really unique, and if you don't see them coming, I think it's very easy to get outplays. One important thing about going up against a Renata is you cannot throw everything you have just for a kill, because she could bail out and just kind of flip the situation. If her teammate gets a takedown, it's only a takedown. That doesn't even have to be a kill. Ooh,
nice little combo here. Uniboy comes in. That's a flash. They know they can do it. They take it all. And in a matter of moments, J-Team get first blood.
Oh, that was absolutely beautiful coming on the side of J-Team. And that goes very well with their game plan. Just going ahead in the lane. And we do have Uniboy with this Ignite setup. This is a super mean setup. We have seen a lot of teleports from Zoe most of the time, but this one is just pure snowball.
God, I love it. You talked about the mid 2v2. Now, Clement, a bit of a snowballing effect needed from J-Team here. This is the perfect way to get it started. And the kill went over to Uniboy with both summoners down, but to be fair, that first kill is going to hurt. A snowballing Zoe, we all know how that ends.
We've seen it so many times. I feel like rookie Zoe still gave me the most chills with that triple kill before the nerf came in.
The one paddle star, I remember.
Man. Yeah.
2018, I think it was.
Yeah, it was 2018. It was the first time I saw that one. Yagao had a lot of good Zoe games as well, but I think the rookie one always stayed with me. Just like, this champion's kind of busted.
Big deal. Driver a bit of trouble, though,
getting away.
Yeah, Gemini has already popped the ghost. How does he run? Well, it doesn't go very far. Rest picks up the kill, and CFO, now it's their turn to steal a kill.
Yeah, really well done by Gemini. Has a level lead and just charges straight up to the top side. Usually you would expect a reset. He was actually spotted on the bot lane. He made it all the way to top just to get that kill. Like, his top side's actually empty. So I think that was a really smart play from Gemini. You always like it when junglers know when to take inefficient paths for kills.
And he's going to come back. He's going to come back as the TP from Rest is zoning him up. There's only one camp here, Clement. He's still camping away Driver. Jace is today in the PCS in a bit of trouble. And I might have to pause because it looks like Driver was playing it safe.
Yeah, Driver definitely knew the possibility of Hecarim coming in from the repeat gank. He still has his flash and is playing a max range distance. But if he does this too long, like, Malphite still wins out in the game. That's kind of the thing about the Malphite matchup. As long as he can forgo the lane as long as possible.
So let's come back down to what has been, not as interesting as, you know, we could have expected, but at the very least, still poking out. Koala and Atlan are having a very good laning phase here. It started out with Enzo and Lil V getting some great trades onto Koala, but now we're at a point where the wave heavily shoved in, nice warding as well to spot out, and this Renata is poking down Lil V and Enzo ever so slightly.
Yeah, I think this is to be expected right here. The Tahm Kench matchup, I don't think Tahm Kench himself packs enough kill threat to dissuade Koala from just constantly poking. And Renata actually does a lot of damage with her passive in the leverage. If you mark someone and your allies hits them, it consumes the mark and deals percentage HP damage, and it doesn't have an internal cooldown. So against a lot of these ranged beefcakes that are sitting up there, against melee beefcakes of supports, you can just whittle them down with very little threat.
I mean, it's great in a duo lane, being able to auto the AD, auto support, and then rinse and repeat, and just build up the trading. It's, again, it was amazing that was at 5% late game. Like, 5% on tanks is so much damage. Even 3.5% when you're going up against maybe a Tahm Kench, like a Lee Sin Bruiser, it's going to be impactful with those autos. So I kind of came to see the late game interaction as J-Team. They want to play with their food a little bit more. Mission Splash still not up and available. And Kongyu and Enzo, this is the third time they've tried to get him down and get Uniboy another kill.
Yeah, so far we have Kongyu sitting on a pretty strong power spike, has a lot of AD right now. So he's trying to catch people out, and they might go for Koala. Ooh.
Oh, punishes the Hammer Shock, and Driver now with no mana slowed down. Rest brings in his jungler. Gemini runs him over. Easily done, Clement, and that's not a good Jace game. As hello, Koala. He's going to be bailed out by his own self, but Kongyu says no, and Uniboy makes a good response.
The thing about Renata is if you don't get a takedown, you do not get stabilized with the bailout there. It forces you to play ultra aggressive, and JT, they find a comeback onto the side of their on their map, but the question really is, I feel like this Jace pick is falling so far behind at this point. It has to look more towards a late game Euro mana angle now.
Well, Clement will see no tier picked up, but Koala just walks into vision. Really nice timing from JT.
Yeah, gets the bailout there, and I actually really like that bailout just to make sure that the kill goes over towards someone other than Zoe. I think that's the most important thing about the W. He's going to die regardless, no chance for him to get a takedown, but just using that ability, make sure the gold allocation is slightly worse for JT.
And over to Kongyu. So jungle mid, very big. Jungle top, very big for CFO, Clement. Gold is dead even, and this feels like, you know, I think with the games we've seen today, bar the PSG games, this looks like the most competitive one so far.
Yeah.
We have conditions that are obviously being played towards. The Jace being kept down, the Muramana late game condition you said now has to be played towards even more. But bottom lane for CFO, definitely a bit of a focus lane here as they are doing so well in the 2v2. The turret plating available here, amounting to just about 3.
Oh, that's so much damage. That's what you can do with the Crescendum going in there. Oh, get the handshake.
Handshake, but oh no, Atlan has to ult. Bailed out though. He's gonna die, but it doesn't matter. Maybe it does. Okay, maybe it does. He already got the reset. He's gonna drop down. And I was like, damn, if Koala did that a little bit later, it could have been a different story.
Yeah, they get every summoner from the side of J-Team right there, and unfortunately I feel like Atlan, if he actually just flashed a little bit earlier, he might have been able to completely outplay that situation. Never mind though, they still get a ton of gold off of that. They get the kill onto Lil V, so still a massive positive for CFO.
Yeah, I mean, look, he gets the kill too. While Lil V goes down, it is only Enzo who gets the trade kills, so where the gold was spread is important, but even more important, that plating was set up for another one to fall down very shortly. And J-Team, their response is going to be the Herald to Clement. It's going to come back to me asking you where this should go, and you're going to tell me mid, aren't you?
I am going to tell you mid.
That's a surprise.
Yeah. I feel like mid lane just allows Zoe to snowball. Like, whenever you have a Zoe, you always want her to snowball. And I think that's, like, the main complaint of Zoe after all these splits is the game really is about her. Like, if she's on the map, it's really about her. Like, if she gets fed, nothing the other team can really do at this point. So I do expect the Herald them to find an opportunity there. In the meantime, these fights have been going very close for CFO. I think they will be looking to take up this Drake positioning and try to get more out of this lane that's being constantly pushed in. Ooh.
Good rune prison though, and Drowsy's going to come through, but ult just before, flash stolen away by Uniboy. Used his own fails it over the wall. Oh no, got the movement speed, but now
Kongyue gets the
counterplay. Uniboy just waiting for Gemini to get his next charge, and he's got it, but the trouble bubble again. Portal jump buying time, he's alive! Battle Star works, he's alive! Uniboy lives!
He had all 3 charges of the Chaos Corrupting Potion there, so he just pops them one by one and slowly waltzes out of there. The frustration of playing Zoe on full display. Even when the Zoe misflashes, she still gets out of it. I can't believe that happened.
Clement, imagine being the hacker, imagine being CFO here.
She gets the flash onto Rise after Gemini pushes her towards that direction. Uniboy actually misflashes. This is 100% a misflash here.
Yep.
It's short distance, doesn't go over the wall. And he just waltzes out on the Corrupting Potion. Doesn't manage to land the Decimating Smasher. Oh, that was so painful. He was so close to getting it down. And Uniboy finds the kill with the sparkles there.
Oh, dude, that's so rough, Clement. It's a 2-0 to Zoe. Luden's Echo, Luden's Tempest, I should say, picked up. Kongyue with 2 kills as well. Mid-jungle online, J-Team's condition. Very much online, forget the gold. Worry about the fact that Uniboy on his comfort champion is in such a good position in this game.
Yeah, this pretty much means that you can't push in the bot lane. If Atlan and Koala push out, Uniboy pays them a visit, they're just dead. There's nothing they can do at this point. It's too easy for them to chase it down. It just looks like Kongyue is waiting for an opportunity for the Sleepy Trouble to land. Or they could do this.
Well, they could. They could. Just put it down. Okay, Kongyue instead just going for the gank. I was thinking, Herald going to come down or not? But they're still just playing with time. We've got about a quarter of it left. And Dragon's in 30 seconds, so I guess Kongyue going to leave it to the last moment.
Yeah, waiting for the fork, hopefully, to get maximum value out of it. If you look at the map right now, there's very little that CFO can do. I think if they want to contest, they would have to send Malphite down, and I'm not sure they're up to that. We see Rest backing so far backwards, and it does look like Rest will try to join this team fight, very interestingly enough. I think this is a little bit too slow, though. That's my issue with the... If you look at the map wards, he doesn't have a good warding position to just jump into this, and J-Team have so much poke around this area. I actually think that they should have just given up on this Drake, and indeed, Rest actually just ends up burning a teleport for essentially nothing.
God. And Dragon goes over, so... Well... Rest has not had a good day, Clement. I think that's very fair to say. Very, very fair to say. It was first a Jace game. He's been set up in the early game, but it's not like here on the Malphite, as a tank Malphite, he's going to be taking over anytime soon. And we talked so strongly about the laning phase of CFO and how they are the strongest laners, right? Individual talent. I think in the first 14 minutes of the game, we've kind of seen the difference between a team that has come with some of that built-in synergy, like Kongyue and Uniboy, who used to play together on Mad Team, versus CFO, who have that individual skill, but their reactions, their duo, trio reactions aren't going to be the same, if that makes sense.
I have to agree with you. I think Rest has been so conditioned to play on an island during his tenure on J-Team that it has kind of stuck to him, and a lot of times it does cost him. Uniboy now the target, though.
Here we go again, but this time he doesn't have a flash, and that feels nice to get a kill if you're Gemini, and actually goes to mission, so a big shutdown.
Yeah, no more BS from Youth, just pincer her as she tries to do a little bit too much poke, and now the bot lane is in trouble here. It will be a 3v4, but Gemini, still full health, could just start this charge.
Well, remember that bailout is there for Koala. He's getting hit by the turret. A couple of shots, not too good. The handshake right back into Lil V. A CFO stopping the dive for now, and as they pull back, I guess the ward spotting out Kongyue. They weren't going to try and make that little jump. Even stopping missions back there. A nice tongue lash from Enzo. So the early game, Clement, worth mentioning, and CFO with half an inch of a gold lead. But 2 Dragons for J-Team. Definitely going to be building up this condition of an early Infernal Soul. An Infernal Soul for Zoe, yuck. That is pretty disgusting, as Kongyue not going to get anything.
That pays them a surprise visit right here. We still have 2 minutes, almost 3 minutes towards the next Drake. So I think we are going to be coming into a bit of a lull, and for each side, what I expect is Gemini to try to cash in again on Driver.
Yep.
Jace Malphite, that's kind of how the matchup goes. If the jungle comes, you're dead, but if not, you get to bully Malphite. So I do expect Gemini to just keep on going top. In the meantime, for J Team, they are going to be looking for opportunities to snipe out this bottom lane. I think that has been a big trouble here with the Renata against the Tahm Kench matchup.
Or mid, I guess. Or mid. Kongyue rooted down. There's the safeguard ward. And Clement, I guess they just still want to keep killing Mission and giving Uniboy legs in this game.
Mission does usually have a target on him. Really nice move here coming in from CFO. Dodges out on the gank, and full vision control will take this one away. They will most likely just start this here on the mid lane. And Renata underneath an enemy tower is very powerful. She could just flash and ult onto your team if you're grouped up to trying to defend it.
I love that CFO now just groups as a 5-man unit. Rest is going over a ward though. Troll Bubble going to hit him. Ultimate not used yet as Uniboy is over the wall. The burst is there. Rest has his flash available though. Keep that in the back of your mind as Gemini charging, and Herald is going to do exactly what they sought out for. Opened up the mid lane, and CFO opened up the gold game by about 1,000 gold. But first thing that, Driver just in the side lane for now, getting his own time in the sun. Another turret for the trade. It's 1-for-1.
Yeah, this is definitely a very strong sequence of events coming in from CFO. Kill into Herald, into mid lane tower. So, for me, this game is slightly tilting over towards CFO's favor. I have said this again, I feel like for J-Team's comp, they actually need a pretty sizable lead in the mid game in order to set up Siege. And now the condition where they're losing their side lane towers, they don't have their mid, it just means that there is a lot more room for CFO to set up flanks and to just realm morph someone to their back line and just completely kill off the composition. CFO are... Oh, yeah, they just have great engage.
I was going to say to you, and I think there's another important point of that into why J-Team need that lead. We know what Zoe is capable of with elongated lanes, right? And having the mid lane turret there this late, Clement, having no vision control. I feel like Zoe is a champion that relies so much on deep vision to enable picks that if you don't have any mid lane control, especially, Uniboy can't play at these angles to get the picks that we need to see.
Yeah, for sure. I hard agree with you on this spot. They do have a bit of a vision advantage here, though, so we could potentially see picks, and I really like what CFO are doing. They're keeping their takes in the front line. Right now, Malphite taking damage doesn't really bother them that much. And Gemini is revving up for the play. Looks like CFO will just try to push in mid before coming down here.
I mean, J-Team already starting the Dragon. Gemini running in the unstoppable onslaught immediately there. Rampage is out. Malphite already flashed from Lil V. Quick on the trigger. And look at the change back. The bailout from Rest means nothing. At the kickback, the drowsy again. J-Team said, "You walking at me? Where do you think you're going?"
I'm going to be walking back at you. I feel like CFO played that a little bit too slowly. If they wanted to full commit to the Drake, they needed to do it earlier. Instead, they were still clearing out the middle part of the map, and that just forced Gemini to lose. I think he lost 80% of his HP before he even saw the Drake. So it was an emergency engage. Once again, CFO just not really on the same page on this one. They just acted so slow that it turned into a desperation fight. And look at that flash coming in from the side of Little V. Dodges out on Rest. Bailout doesn't do anything. Beautiful kick from Kongyue. Gets a 3-man on the back line just to keep everyone in place. And the Renata, I think the Renata just didn't do much that fight at all.
I mean, Rest couldn't get a reset here as we look at the damage. Uniboy and Zoe. And, we were bagging out J-Team a little bit at the start, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about how J-Team decision-making's not great. Like, this team can have a good early game, but then it kind of falls apart. When Uniboy and Kongyue are in control, it's an exception to the rule. I think we were talking about how when they find leads, when the 2v2 is very strong like it is in this game, then J-Team have a lot of legs to stand on, and I think the issues are kind of resolved for the game.
I would just say, when you give them Lee Sin and Zoe together, you're asking for trouble. You're asking for some really big trouble. This game is interesting because J-Team actually started out with a handshake of just like, you know, banning Orianna and Syndra themselves. And CFO still was like, oh, Syndra's banned? It's okay if we give them Zoe. We don't have any champions that go well against Zoe, but we'll still give them. Let's see what happens. So they're getting just completely punched for that. They still have a lot of opportunities to come back into the fight, but they need to pick their spots. The big thing is about when J-Team actually sets up siege on some of these towers, especially the mid lane tier 2 tower is the most dangerous one to siege. You have both the left side of the map and the right side of the map that you could have a Malphite just flying at you or a Hecarim just flying at you. So I think that's the tower where most of the fireworks are going to fly.
Getting that big Malphite ulti, people like Lil V, Uniboy, but then if you find those as picks, Enso on the Tahm Kench, always something to negate that fact. So for Rest, feels like a pretty hard game. And, you know, for CFO, Clement, again, let's come back because we did talk about the scaling element. We talked about J-Team needing a bit of a sizable lead. I will also say that an Infernal Soul coming up next is a great way to force CFO into their space, but more importantly, to bridge this game wide open at the 23, 24-minute mark.
For sure. Getting a double Infernal on this one would hurt quite a bit. It means that you have to spend a lot less time poking because you do so much more damage. And those rotations really count at some point. We haven't seen CFO actually mount a successful 5v5 engage, so that's what I'm going to be looking for. And once again, I want to see if Mission can use this Realm Warp correctly. I think Mission's been one of the few rises where we have seen him be pretty on point with coordinating with his team and setting up engages. So I want to see that again. He's definitely going to go for a more tanky build. He could go in himself, but primarily I do want to see him bring Koala. I want to see if Koala can get an engage just with the ultimate here.
True. I mean, ultimate hasn't been used yet, has it? A hostile takeover. At the very least, I didn't see it in the last fight because it mattered not, or it wasn't used. One of them, guys.
It was used, but it was just way too late into the fight to kind of stop J-Team as they charged in.
I also think we look at this team and hostile takeover against this team, like, you need to hit Lil V or Driver. Otherwise, that 100% attack speed bonus is going to be going on to someone who's not going to be doing too much auto damage. So, again, there are certain teams, as you were talking about, that it suits going into. Clement, I will say, I had a GP, a Tryndamere, and a Master Yi on the enemy team when I played her. I got a 3-man ulti on those, and they all, like, killed it. I got a double kill from it, so there's definitely teams where it feels really nice on, and teams where it doesn't.
I really like the ability because there is a double-edged sword quality about it. If you're in a 1v1, then using hostile takeover will actually kill yourself a lot faster. So, that's a good point. It's really fun because if they're as we have the engage coming in.
Yeah, Rest with the flash. There's hostile takeover. Koala flash for it. It gets berserk. You can see. Enso caught out, though, as the Realm Warp comes through from Mission. Maybe it delayed time. Maybe it worked, but oh my god!
Zoe!
Kongyuel once again. The kick of legends as J-Team had this fight all over. Koala the last one standing. And this is a jungler that shows his world's experience every damn time on the Lee Sin.
That wasn't the engage that they were looking for. Koala, that was an all or nothing engage. I didn't expect Renata to flash forward because if she does that, she's kind of just dead. Like, she doesn't have any way to get out of that fight. Very, very risky move to pull off. They do find Enso, but unfortunately Lil V is still able to get out in the nick of time, and Kongyue closes that trap so damn well. Atlan, with the flash, just dies out of nowhere. I didn't even really see how he went down, but Uniboy was able to find him.
Don't give Kongyue Lee Sin, don't give Uniboy Zoe. I think don't give Lil V, an option in games. There's a lot of conditions here for J-Teams and seeing, and I'm really glad we're getting this J-Team after I was looking at them earlier today. Clement was like, man, this team is sloppy. This is not a sloppy J-Team. This is such a clean play. So much direction in a game where the recent games that are past 15 minutes, their direction has been like put their head in the sand.
You know what the trick is? If you play a game, a composition that doesn't engage, then you can't fail an engage. That's a true trick here. We're going to watch this engage once more. Okay. We have a 3-man Mission actually goes in to try to finish off the kill, but that was such a great move from Enzo. In the nick of time, he actually gets the Devour, and Kongra makes mincemeat out of them. That's a meat grinder situation in the mid. So much AoE damage being taken by the entire team, and CFO, they just overplayed their hand for that chase on just the support.
Oh, so clean, and we come back again. Look at where we are. Onslaught of Shadows used onto Uniboy. Real flash away. Driver on the wrong side, though. But for CFO, that Super Mega Death Rocket did so much work. Driver now has the Shock Blast opportunities. Kongio's coming in. CFO don't want to be here. Shock Blast blowing them up. The turn around's the only way out, but Uniboy zoning them. Health bars blinking. This is a berserk moment, but it won't matter. They all drop down, and J-Team are going to take down a flying Oyster.
So many missed abilities on the side of CFO. They don't get the Onslaught of Shadows, and they get fully surrounded by J-Team. Driver just pummeling them on the side. We have Super Mega Death Rocket coming in from the end, and it was a beautiful team fight. Just watching them synchronize, take turns, and taking pot shots at CFO, and this is going to be one of the cleanest games against a tough opponent coming in from J-Team as they take this matchup one apiece.
An important one to take as well. They'll even up with CFO. J-Team move to 8 wins, and suddenly we're in tied territory.